Hey there, welcome back to Podcast and Amplify. I'm your host, Kristen, and today we are talking about a very exciting topic, at least I think so. We're going to be talking about marketing and rethinking that a little bit. I think marketing can be difficult for a lot of us entrepreneurs, and we're going to dig into why that might be. So, our guest, Christina Giordano, has thoughts about this. We're
Mhm.
excited to have her on the show. She has nearly 15 years in the marketing industry. She has over 10 years as Christina Giordano Consulting, where she helps to empower online marketers to show up, be seen, and shine, which is really marketing ourselves in a way
Mhm.
that's really unique to us and feels wholehearted and aligned. So, welcome, Christina.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for having me.
So, why don't we dive in? I love to learn what a pivotal moment is for my guests that have really gotten them to this moment where they're at in their life. So, if you can share that with us, I'd love to hear it.
Sure. So for me, it was really throughout my entire journey as a marketing consultant, particularly in my business, I went into it with an old marketing framework to work with. And I tried to help people essentially by making the tried and true marketing practices more approachable. Because after all, these were the practices that I had learned along the way in my business. And so, of course, they must work for everyone. And so these were the hustling, the grinding away, the uncomfortable sales tactics, the fear-based ploys, overcoming objections. That's one of my favorites. And just the constant and continuous pounding on the pavement to just make a buck. And marketing, even for me as a marketing consultant, it just never felt right. It never felt like what I was doing was benefiting either the client or the people that they were trying to sell to. And every time I gave marketing advice from this traditional perspective, I would literally feel sick to my stomach. And it was just a gradual occurrence of these constant pangs in my stomach of having to just feel like this whenever I was helping someone market themselves. And so I just stopped. I stopped doing it entirely. I stopped taking clients in from a larger perspective, and I was just done. And so I pretty much got to a point where I was like on my knees. I was like, please just show me a better way. Show me a better way. And I promise I'll help others do the same. And that was kind of the moment, the pivotal moment where I transitioned into an entirely new way of marketing, an entirely new way of helping people market themselves.
Tell us what you think is really broken and outdated about marketing. You alluded to it a little bit in terms of how that helped you get to where you are today, but what do you think we need to be done with? We need to stick
Yeah.
the fork in it. It's done.
Yeah. Yep. So one of the biggest questions I get asked is, why does marketing have to suck so bad? That's probably what every single client asks me. And it's typically because it first of all, it doesn't have to suck so bad. That's the truth of it. And if it does suck, it's because we're not selling the right thing. We're not talking about the right thing. We're not selling the specific transformation that we provide. And marketing has the old framework, the old outdated approach really talks about like the benefits of your work and share the overarching modalities that you use and all your skills and your expertise and all of this fluff about what you do. But nobody has really driven into the core, the root of not only why they do what they do, but what they actually do, the actual transformation that you provide. So when you're focusing on all, for lack of a better word, all the BS of what your work could do to help somebody, of what you're hoping that it does to help somebody, you're missing what you actually do. And so then you go into the murky waters of, is that even an ethical approach to marketing? And the broken, outdated approach is unethical. It truly is. And so when we're focusing on marketing something that's real, when we're focusing on marketing something that we can talk about, that we love talking about because it's what we actually do, it's the thing that gets someone from point A to point B, that is when we're marketing and it's easy, it's ethical, and it's effective because it's so clear and it's so specific and there's just massive clarity all around about what you do now.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to feeling like, marketing. I have a marketing background and it never really felt great. And then when I started doing it for my own business, that brought up all kinds of other things in terms of just
Mm.
like really trying to be in integrity, not wanting to use those scarcity tactics or the manipulation. So, yeah, I love the direction that you're talking about in terms of where marketing should be going and where it can be going. Like there's just so many more possibilities, I think, when you shed old ways that
Yes.
are taken for, oh, that's the truth and that's the one way. And you start to
Mm.
broaden your perspective, like, oh, what could this be? So I love that
Yes.
possibilities mindset. And so can you tell us why being in alignment is really key to this like new paradigm shift that you're helping to
Yes.
bring about?
Sure. So it's not only key, it's almost absolutely essential. Buyer consciousness has evolved and a collective consciousness has evolved. We've been through so much, even in the past 2 years. And because of that, we think differently now, we buy differently now. Even though people still buy from people, they just have a different, they're thinking differently now. They're thinking in alignment with what they truly want, with what they truly desire. And so it all is basically stemming from alignment. And if you want to truly be a magnet, and attract the right kinds of people to your work like a magnet, that's alignment. That is alignment. Alignment is, it has a magnetism to it, a magic to it, is what I like to call it.
Mm.
The way that you are aligned to your work is actually the way that your clients are aligned to your work. So if you think about it that way, if you can talk about the transformation that you provide in a way that is aligned to the exact specific transformation that your clients are looking for, that's where the magic happens. That's where the magnetism happens. And all of a sudden, you're creating attraction simply by speaking your truth, speaking your point of view, sharing the transformation you provide, being the representation of your very own transformation, which is embodying the work that you do. That's next level entrepreneurship. That's where you're really, showing up and stepping up your game and actually bringing in not only the right people who are actually a good fit for you, but you're doing it in a way that feels good too, and that's important. You wanna feel good doing what you love to do, and you wanna talk about it in a way that looks like you enjoy doing what you love to do.
I think you're so right. Like
Mm.
we are in a different space collectively. We're smarter. Consumers are
Mhm.
smarter. We have so
Yes.
much more information that we can access. And yeah, I think we all want connection as well. And that magnetism and being in alignment, like you're talking about, like that fosters real genuine connection. And I
Yes.
think it's something we're craving, right? Especially
Yes.
like being so
Yes.
isolated from each other for the last couple of years.
That's a great way to put it, of alignment creates connection. That's a great that's a great way to put it, and it's true. If you think about a magnet, that's what it does. That's what it is.
Right. So, what's one way that we can instantly elevate our marketing? Because I know you're a genius at this. So, I was excited to ask you this question.
Yeah. So first is the mini, which we can talk about later. That's like the most instant you can get when it comes to working with me. But think about what you've been through that you now help others achieve as it relates to your work. So this is the transformation that you need to talk about. This is the transformation that you actually love talking about. This is the thing that you're so good at. Like you've been there. And I had a client yesterday do the meetup, which is one of my one-to-one offerings. And she was blown away by uncovering the transformation that she actually provides because she thought that it had to be so related to the title that she held and to the actual service that she offered. She's an online business management. So she thought she had to share kind of the benefits of what that work does, but the transformation that she actually provides is related to what she's been through as an entrepreneur and with her own life experiences. And that transformation is that thing that like lights her up when she's working. It comes up through her. It's like she's glowing. She gets chills up her spine. That's the kind of transformation that I love to bring out of people and that I love to show people. And I promise you it's there for anybody who's listening. I promise you there's a transformation there that you provide that can be so crystal clear and can make your marketing easy, ethical, and effective. I promise you.
I love that you're tapping into that. And you're so right. There is that thing that we all have where when we start talking about it, people lean in. They're like,
Mhm.
"Ah, tell me more because your vibe, your energy is just, I want more of that."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, alignment, magnetism, that's the new way of working now. That's the new energy of business.